General Hospital Weekly Recap, Custody Maneuvers, Secrets, and a Cracking Foundation in Port Charles. As the calendar inches closer to the high-stakes custody hearing scheduled for June 2, Port Charles becomes a pressure cooker of legal strategy, emotional reckonings, and quiet betrayals. At the center of the storm is the unresolved custody battle over Wiley and Amelia, children whose futures now rest on court decisions, buried truths, and contested loyalties. Carly, facing mounting uncertainties over Michael's ability to participate in the proceedings, makes a controversial decision that reverberates across family lines. Diane delivers the news with practiced calm. The custody hearing will proceed as planned. With Michael still physically and emotionally unavailable, Carly prepares to step in as his proxy, knowing full well the implications of representing not just her son's legal interests but also the emotional well-being of two young children whose lives have already seen too much upheaval. But Carly's calculated move puts her at odds with those who feel her aggressive involvement may backfire, especially as opposing counsel begins to lay out a narrative painting Michael as absent, unstable, and unfit. Willow, blindsided by the sudden serving of legal documents, finds herself cornered. She seeks solace in what little support remains in her orbit, but a strategic blow lands when Drew recruits Rick into the equation. Rick, ever the opportunist, aligns himself with Drew's legal tactics and sets out to fracture Michael's credibility in court. Rick's moves are anything but benign. His appearance at the hospital to visit Elizabeth stirs up dark memories from the past, particularly the haunting recollection of a conversation about faulty brakes, an ominous reference that now casts the previous accident in a disturbingly premeditated light. Elizabeth, shaken by the memory, seeks clarity but instead finds herself pulled deeper into the shadows of the case, where alliances are unclear and motives constantly shift. Meanwhile, in a separate corner of the city, tensions bubble over at the Metro Court. Laura, ever protective of her family, finds herself taunted by Ezra over Rocco. The malicious taunts strike a nerve, and Laura responds with a visceral act, throwing her drink into Ezra's smug face, a gesture that says more than words ever could. But the confrontation underscores the instability surrounding Rocco and the unresolved emotional fallout tied to him. Back in her own pursuit of justice, Alexis turns to Spinelli, whose expertise leads to the location of Rick's car, a key detail in unraveling the truth behind the accident that changed everything. But even with this progress, what she uncovers offers more questions than answers. At a storage unit, Alexis finds not evidence, but a cryptic note from Ava and Rick, two names increasingly tied to every manipulation threading through the lives of Port Charles residents. The note offers no solace, only confirmation that a deeper, coordinated effort is underway, and Alexis is only beginning to understand its breadth. Lucky's return to town is equally explosive. He meets Alexis at the same unit, and the two share information that draws a chilling portrait. Christina, it seems, played a far greater role in recent events than previously imagined. While Lucky admits he knows what she did, Alexis confides the truth about Ava's blackmail. This exchange ignites a reckoning not only about Christina's actions but about the cost of silence in a town built on secrets. Elsewhere, Elizabeth finds herself on the verge of a personal breakthrough. She opens up to Lucas about her renewed interest in Lucky, not just as a co-parent or confidant, but as a man she may still love. In a world where so many connections are fractured by lies, Elizabeth dares to dream of restoration. Not everyone is lucky enough to explore reconciliation. Dante, still unraveling the complexities around Gio, pushes too hard. His aggressive tactics only serve to deepen Gio's emotional wounds. In contrast, Sunny chooses compassion. In a quiet moment with Gio, Sunny assures him that whatever secrets he's holding do not define him. It's a brief reprieve, a reminder that not all father figures in Port Charles lead with cruelty. Across town, Brooke Lynn marks her son's birthday in silence, unaware that Gio, whose real birthday is June 4th, has quietly marked the day in his own way. He shares the information with Donna, the only person to whom he can speak openly. In a world that's taught him to keep secrets, this small act of truth-telling becomes a lifeline. Meanwhile, Portia confesses to Ava that she's keeping important information from Curtis. The burden is eating at her, but before she can act, their conversation is overheard by Isaiah. Misinterpreting what he hears, Isaiah jumps to conclusions, believing that Drew is blackmailing Portia. He informs Curtis, and the chain reaction is swift. Curtis confronts Drew, demanding answers, but instead of clarity, he gets denial and ambiguity. The seed of mistrust has been planted, and the ripple effects are bound to spread. Lulu and Cody, pursuing their own suspicions, begin an independent investigation into Gio's origins. Questions about his birthplace and Brooke Lynn's medical history suggest that something is being hidden. Their digging could uncover more than expected, not only about Gio's identity but also about long-buried manipulations tied to the Quartermaine and Corinthos legacies. As pressure builds on all fronts, Carly and Sunny face the crux of their shared parental responsibilities. Carly insists that she can manage the upcoming hearing and stand firm in court. Sunny, however, takes a different route. Rather than fight, he visits Willow, extending an olive branch. He speaks to her not as an adversary, but as a father and grandfather, urging calm and measured thinking. It's a rare moment of peace in a landscape defined by conflict. The week ends not with resolution, but with the mounting sense that the surface of every situation in Port Charles is merely a cover for the rot beneath. Whether in courtrooms, hospital corridors, or storage units filled with whispers of betrayal, every character is locked in a battle. Some for love, others for power, and a few simply for the truth. But one thing is certain. With the hearing date looming and secrets starting to unravel, the lives of Wiley, Amelia, Gio, and those who fight for them will never be the same again.